I am the only person out here. There is nobody dumb enough, brave enough, whatever you want to call it, to come hiking out here in the middle of July in Phoenix, Arizona, just before noon. I love it though. Keeping a close eye for rattlesnakes. I have encountered rattlesnakes out here before in the past. I know they're here. I know they are very upset when they run into humans. It's not fun for them, not fun for us. So I try to walk slow, watch my step. So if you go on Google Maps, go to satellite mode, and you just kind of browse some of the outskirts around Phoenix where there's no development, you can often find all the Native American ruins. There's quite a bit actually, all over the outskirts of Phoenix. Over near the white tanks, there are tons of petroglyphs, or I think petroglyphs, what they're called. The paintings in the rocks. Along with old ruins, you can find arrowheads, pieces of pottery, old axe heads. I mean, there's just so much out here to discover. And some of these ruins have nice little trails that go out to them. Some of them you gotta venture off trail. This is a bit of a combo. There's some trail and some wandering off a lot. But this is an old favorite spot of mine from my childhood. I used to love coming out here when I was younger. And just, daydreaming about the Native American tribes that lived out here. The way of life, how they lived, unified with nature. Wow, there's a lot of wildlife out today. There's some huge crows, tons of lizards. I've seen some massive desert squirrels. And those javelinas out here too. Mountain lions and bobcats, but it is a little warm for them to be out, so shouldn't need to worry about that. Wow, okay, so here we are. So this is one of the first ruins right here. So you can see right here, just what that looks like. Over here too. So as I'm walking through here, some of these walls are in pretty good shape, others are not so much. There was a restoration project that was done, I want to say before my lifetime, but at some point in the last 50 years, they tried to restore some of these. And so you can see some of the walls are built up a little better and look nicer. But really, for the most part, how these were found and have remained for hundreds of years now is just these piles of rocks that stack like this. Now here you can see this is definitely the work of, some restoration. They're stacked too neatly, too perfectly. And from here, you can actually see there's a lot of homes now. It's like a golf course in the distance. Some new construction out here. And for the longest time, for most of my life, there was nothing out here. It was very far from everyone and everything. And it's pretty sad to see the city expanding out so close to this beautiful, preserved, ancient cultural site. So sad to see. I don't think they'll ever, encroach too far on the ancient ruins here. But just seeing them in the distance is a little disheartening. This is a once beautiful, sacred place surrounded by nothing but wildlife and beauty, and now it's being disturbed by new construction, new multi-million-dollar homes, golf courses, where I'm already in golf courses in Phoenix, Arizona, where we have massive droughts and a shortage of water already. It makes no sense. I don't think it's what we should be doing out here, what they should be doing, but we don't always have say or control over that. I still love to go out and see these sites as much as possible and enjoy them while I still can. And I can only hope that they remain out here in this pristine condition for the rest of my life and many generations to come, so that other generations can come out here and enjoy a little piece of history, of ancient North American history. Yeah, this is so beautiful. And oh, sorry, something caught my eye. I have to be so careful out here. There are so many rattlesnakes. And it's right in the afternoon. So it's a good time to be spotting them out here. I'm just keeping a close eye out and listening carefully. But yeah, so there's lots of little trails out here that wind around and go to different little areas of this old settlement. And then there is, for the most part, the main trail. It is pretty eroded. I mean, over the years, there's been no maintenance on this trail, and it's been around for, a very, very long time. You have to just do your best to try to stay on what you believe is the trail. Don't wander off too far, and be careful with all the loose rocks so you don't slip out here. So earlier I was behind me. Oh, you can't really see it too well, but I was in the lower part of the settlement. Oh, gunshots in the distance. Seriously. Lots of people out in the desert shooting, especially on the weekends. But now moving up to the higher part of the settlement, which is honestly the best preserved and really the most beautiful part of this entire little ancient site. Yeah, so look right here. So there's some more runes. You can definitely see the runes would have been possibly, the doorway there to conjoin the two rooms. Now here's some information on this right here. Yeah, so it's believed to be from 1050 to 1200 AD. The Hohokam tribe who lived, I believe. So this whole town is about 900 years old. Possibly older, but that's just, based on carbon dating, I'm sure, from natural materials that were found here, wood and among other debris. Now I'm watching my step even more so right now, because the upper compound, is where I've definitely seen rattlesnakes in the past. Wow. Oh, wow. It looks like, this looks like old pottery. Oh, it is. Wow, this is incredible. What a cool treat. Still recording. Okay, so I was walking around here in the ruins, and I found right here, somebody has actually found and displayed some ancient pottery that, you know, I'm sure they found just lying around here. Wow, that's incredible. So there's so much still to be discovered out here. I mean, I'm sure there were some archaeological digs and stuff done in the past, but really, you know, this is an ancient heritage site, so I believe they can't even take anything off the site unless it goes back to the tribe itself, or like a museum or something. But so I know a lot of the stuff out here. Obviously, legally, you can't take this and should not take this. You should the flies. You should leave them out here. Also, obviously, legally and morally, you should not take anything from the site. And so it's amazing to see that other people have come out here and found some of this, you know, pottery. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. So you can actually, you know, see the rocks in there and the small. Oh, you can even see the brush marks on here where they would have been brushing the clay to smooth it out. Wow. And so they're using small little pebbles in here for structural stability, I'm guessing, but even the curvature on this, that is incredible. Wow. Really amazing. I'm sure there's so much more that I could just find walking around here. I remember coming out here as a kid and finding arrowheads and pieces of pottery myself, but to see it out here still after all these years, this is incredible. Wow. So I found some more information on the site, and it's showing here that, you know, at least for 1,000 years, the Hohokam had lived in this area, farming and trading with other tribes throughout the region. And this is possibly an old defensive fortress or structure here up on the hilltop. At least that's what's presumed. Maybe they found weapons and other things that would make it more, that would possibly lead them to believe that it's, you know, some kind of defensive structure versus, you know, but just up here at the top. So what the sign is saying, that up here at the top of the hilltop, the top of the compound, is seems like possibly a defensive structure, and then down low, where we just were, would have been homes and the daily lives of the farmers and the people that were lived out down there. Wow! Just look at this. So you can see just the walls and the structures, and this is massive. How they're laid out, so many rooms and spiraling all the way up. Absolutely gorgeous. And so incredible that this is still here for us to enjoy. So cool. This is so incredible. The stone structures up here, the walls. I know they've been restored, but it's still so cool. It's just so unique and amazing. Seeing all this history laid out for me. beautiful piece of pottery someone's. Just gonna help put that back where you found it. On to see now. I'm getting a better sense of just how massive this entire complex, this town, this settlement really was. This likely housed hundreds and hundreds of people. A pretty sizable community of people here, living and working and trading for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, over 1,000 years now, 1,000 years ago. But for hundreds and hundreds of years they lived here, and they had their own way of life. Uninterrupted. Wow. I really wish I could share what I'm truly seeing. I know the cameras won't do it any justice. It really seems to go on forever and ever. Every time you think that it's coming to an end, where the wall stops, it just picks up and keeps going. And now what we see here today are these short walls which have been, partially restored. But back when they were occupied, they would have been full-size walls with wood beams supporting a roof. And grass laid over the top to keep them protected from the elements. And what a sight it must have truly been to see that. So you can see here just how tricky this trail is going down. It's pretty steep, a lot of loose rocks, and potentially rattlesnakes. So you really have to be careful and watch your step. This is not a place where you want to fall, especially alone in the summertime. It's hot out. It would just not be fun. So I'm taking my time, watching each step carefully, and keeping an eye and an ear out for rattlesnakes. Especially stepping around rocks like this. You can see that, like right here, where you can't see underneath the lip of that, in the shade. That's where a rattlesnake could be hiding. You have no idea. Little juvenile rattlesnake. And look at this massive rock right here. There's a name for this rock. I can't remember what it is. But as we get closer, you can see it is just like barely balancing on top of another rock. And I'm sure it's been there for... Here, we'll see right there. Yeah. Just incredible. Such a massive rock balancing there. Alright, and keep going down slowly. With a little battery juice left. Alright, coming down this super steep, sketchy trail. Every step is a gamble. I mean, loose dirt, crazy steep, unmaintained. It doesn't even look like a trail anymore. I know it a long time ago when I was a kid, this was in a lot better shape than it is now. This is so sketchy. And I know I've taken this before, but it was not like this in the past. Oh my gosh. So I'm being careful, one step at a time. And make sure each foot is really planted before I move the next one. Wow. Whoa. Alright. I'm just gonna keep moving. Moving and grooving. So here's an even better view of the structure from down below. Just absolutely incredible. So much history here. All right, well, it's about noon now. It is very warm out, definitely over 100 degrees. And I am done with this hike. I am ready to cool off and go eat some breakfast.